Hi, this is Alex Stafford, and I'm here with the Rave TV, and I'm sitting down with Dan from Between the Berry to Me. How's it going?
It's going well.
Good. So you guys have played here a few times before. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Do you have any fond memories of previous shows?
They're usually pretty good. Actually, I'm always excited to come back here because I've actually modeled a room in my house after the green rooms downstairs, minus the fake plants, but I've got seriously, I have like the like ethnic tapestries hanging from the walls and from the ceilings draped and the nice rug, and it's all stemmed from playing here, I think on Summer Slaughter maybe. Or maybe even before that. Yeah, I think like we came here and I was just so taken by the room. I was like, I have an extra room in my house. We have to do this. So yeah,
I've never heard of the Rave as being an interior decoration influence.
I swear to God, yeah.
But look
great.
at this. How would you not want this in your house? So, well, you're on tour now with Deaf Heaven and Intronaut.
Mm-hmm.
How's it going so far?
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah. All three of our bands are kind of different from one another. You know, we maybe have more similarities with Intronaut, but everyone goes together really well. You know, and the Deaf Heaven record, I was a big fan of, and so I was kind of pushing their name as an idea when we were putting the tour together, and I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad that they thought it was something that was worth doing. Sometimes when you get an offer from a bigger band that's sort of out of your realm a bit, like we went on tour with Coheed and Cambria last year, and it was kind of, the offer came to us, and at first you're kind of like, okay, well, that's cool, and then you're kind of like, wait, they want to take us out, you know what I mean? Like we seem, well, just because we're just like, we seem pretty like different worlds or whatever. But then when you're on stage, it's all the same. It's all the same thing, and they had open-minded fans, Coheed did, and we have pretty open-minded fans. And I like to think that there's a bit of crossover between the two of our bands and certain fans. So yeah, it's been great.
There's definitely like a metal and progressive fan base that crosses, all those bands.
Yeah.
Coheed and the bands are on tonight.
Right.
So it's great, Bill. I've been looking forward to the show for quite some time. But your newest album is the Parallax 2, the second volume.
Yeah, it's good timing.
Right here,
wow.
right there. Go get it.
Yeah.
What influenced? Now the first half came out back in 2011, right? What influenced to make it a two-part? Was that straight from the beginning? Like, we're gonna do two?
Basically, our contract with Victory Records was up in 2009. We released The Great Misdirect, and that was the last record.
Yeah, now you're on Metal Blade, right?
Mm-hmm. And after that, we had planned, maybe even when we were in the studio recording The Great Misdirect, we had just had this idea that we were talking about with our engineer, Jamie King, about just doing an EP, Mm-hmm. And because we had no intentions of, or aspirations of signing with a label or anything. And then they came into the picture, pretty soonly after we were free agents, and it was a short contract, and we were kind of like, well, there's no real risk in this, and we think they're cool people, and we'll try it out. But we had the idea to do an EP regardless, and then when the ideas for the story came together, we kind of realized that wasn't going to fit on the EP, but we could use the EP as kind of like an introduction to it or whatever, and then really go full on with it, both musically and conceptually on the full length. I think writing in the EP format, and especially when we actually wrote it after like 9 months of heavy touring, I don't think that was so much our thing. We didn't really try new stuff out. We kind of were like, it came out okay for what it was, you know what I mean? But when you see what we did with the full length, that was us writing gradually over like maybe a 1.5 year long period, and really kind of like on our game like we are when we write full lengths like The Great Misdirect and Colors, where we're working really fast and we get a lot done when we're actually in the same room together.
So you guys all write as one. It's not everybody brings their own to the table. You all do it at once?
No, we actually we do a lot on our own at home, and this was the first record, the Parallax 2, where some of us individually came in with tracks fully done. I came in with Goodbye to Everything and Astral Body, and Bloom. Paul came in with Melting City pretty much put together, and Tommy came in with the Black Box pretty much put together, and just had all these ideas. And then from there, it was building off of things. And then by the time we got to write Silent Flight Parliament, the end of the record, it was fun because the whole first like 8 minutes or so of that song, it's like a 15-minute long song, are all built off of parts and themes that happened earlier in the record. And so it was really fun to take them, kind of twist them around and give them kind of new life and bringing the story full circle, and thus the two, the EP and the full length. So that's definitely like our favorite format to write in.
One thing I really like about, your albums, like your newest one and Colors especially, is it's songs, but it flows continuously through the whole album as it's almost, one full song, but you have little breaks in it as little page markers of chapters of the song. When, you're saying you come with each, have, different ideas, is there a subconscious, we're all going this direction at once, like the greater picture, or does that just establish its way as you move along?
It's sort of incredible sometimes how some of us, like groups of us, will kind of already be on the same page. And I think that's why, we wrote the Alaska record, all 5 of us together. But it wasn't really till the Colors record where I felt like we were writing and we were all clicking and all on the same page.
Yeah.
And really ever since then, writing is usually pretty easy for us once we get it going. And I think the key for us is really coming in with stuff established, stuff ready. We're not a very good band at writing on the spot.
Yeah.
Being like, okay, what do you got? Or I got this riff, what could we do? Because when you listen to the songs, like, they are very meticulously put together. And I'm so glad that they come off feeling natural or whatever, but there's so much time put into them. Sometimes before we're even all in the same room, before I will even send something to someone else, or Paul will send something, or Tommy, or whatever, there's so much that happens, behind the scenes. Like, there's new stuff. Like, I haven't heard anything from Paul or anyone, but I've been writing.
Yeah.
And I certainly haven't shared it with anyone. And I won't until it's like...
Not till it's ready.
Until I feel like it's pretty well perfected. Or, until I'm like, okay, I can't go any further with this, I like this where I've gotten with it, but it's to the point now where I need to open it up to the group.
Yeah.
And I think that's what was so interesting about the Parallax record. The last one, Parallax 2, was just that you were coming in with songs. I felt like, I was like, this is done, I think. I don't know, or I'll send it to everyone, and if Paul wants to rearrange something, or if we're going to add, whatever. And then it was just like, that's it. I'm like, oh, okay. That's never happened, So
it's magical when it works, when it comes together.
It's great.
Do you ever find, when you're getting your set list ready for a tour, do you ever find, and I've seen you guys a few times where you've played an entire album in its entirety all the way through. Are there any songs in particular, or just in general, that you feel if you don't play the album live, it's just, they're almost out of context? They're just kind of hard to balance in?
There's tracks on, like, the newer record that wouldn't really make sense. Like, we couldn't really play Goodbye to Everything by itself, or, like, the Black Box, because that clearly is going right into Telos.
Yeah.
But usually, we can pick out any of the main songs. Like, on this tour, we're playing Bloom, for example, which on record starts right on the downbeat after Telos, and at the end of the song segues right into Melting City, and it's just like this force of like 20-some minutes of music. But we're able to take that and just start it right on the downbeat and kind of cut it at the end at a comfortable spot before it segues. And it's, I don't know, with certain songs with this album, it just wouldn't make sense. With Colors, I felt like we could pretty much take any song out of context, but the song Informal Gluttony, I remember we tried to play by itself on a tour, and it felt so weird. But as soon as it was in with the context of the record, it felt great. So that's probably the one off that record that felt weird by itself.
Yeah. Now, this fall, I believe, you guys have a new live CD and DVD coming out. Can you tell us about it?
Well, we're recording it the day after this tour ends. at a studio in North Carolina, in Kernersville, North Carolina. The studio is called the Fidelatorium, and it's just a great studio, kind of like old school vibe with big live room and a massive control room, and we're gonna be performing the record in its entirety, and we're gonna have like all kinds of auxiliary musicians, like a string quartet. We're gonna have tuba, flute, saxophone.
Wow, so you're really
percussion,
extending the music.
Pretty much all those parts exist on the record.
Yeah.
But like we've been playing the record live at select dates on this tour, and we played it every day in the fall. But we couldn't do it with the strings, with the horns, and this and that. So this is a cool way for us to be able to do it. And for us, as opposed to doing it, we did a live DVD before, and it was very stressful. Like that day was just insane, and you have one go, and it's just so weird, all of a sudden when you've got these like brighter lights on you, and you've got all the cameras.
Yeah, and you got bright lights to begin with,
Exactly. So for us, it's really cool because we've had big production on this tour with like video and lights, and then we're just gonna take all that away. Then it's just gonna be 5 dudes in a room plus our auxiliary players, and it's just gonna be very laid back. And I think it's gonna give people to just kind of see us in a different light, and I think for the more musician-based crowd, it's gonna be pretty exciting. Just seeing us play. So
I look forward to it a lot.
Cool.
I still really love music videos, even though you don't see them on TV. They still, go online, and there's just some phenomenal videos coming out. And last year, one of the best ones I thought was the Astro Body. That video was mind-blowing.
Cool.
It was great.
Thank you.
Was that a concept that the band came up with, or for the video?
Well, first our drummer Blake, his brother Wes Richardson, did the video, and the context of the video is obviously taken from the record, from the song, and what's kind of cool, like story-wise, is it starts at the beginning, but actually the beginning of the record, Goodbye to Everything, kind of references what happens at the end of the record, and Wes was able to kind of show all that in the video, which was pretty awesome. And honestly, we didn't know what to expect, and he was sending us like little 20-second blurbs of the video, and everyone he would send, we were just mind blown. Like, I can't believe this is our video. It's incredible. And if you would believe that was just, him in his studio, like, not with a team of people. It was just him, just doing it right from there. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. But yeah, it's cool because it seems like there's more room for videos to exist now, actually, than maybe even a couple years ago, where people were like, what's the point? They're not on TV, they're not this and that, whatever. But the way people get their content now, via social media, whatever, like, it makes sense. It's just like it was back in the day, I think, where it was just a promotional tool on MTV. Now, that doesn't really matter. That doesn't really exist, so people will still see it on YouTube. They'll see it on your page, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you don't have to sit through the stuff you don't like to wait for that one video you do want to see. So.
Right. And we're probably not always going to do one, but we had the chance where we actually had a song under 6 minutes or whatever, and we had a story to tell, and we were sort of able to afford Wes a little bit, and he did a great job.
Yeah, it turned out phenomenal. I saw it, and I was just blown away by the beauty of it and the music. It flowed seamlessly. It was very well done. One thing I like to just end the interviews with is, on a personal level, is there any new music out there that's really grasping you and getting your attention? Is there anything that's really striking you as amazing out right now?
Yeah, I've been loving this new record by pianist Brad Meldau. It's called Melania, and it's just him. He's kind of like a contemporary jazz pianist, but this record is really cool because it's him and a drummer, and it's kind of like an experiment of seeing how much sound they can make with two people in sort of a live setting. So he's playing with like Moog synthesizers and stuff, as well as his piano. and Rhodes, and the drummer's playing with like electronic pads, and they're just creating all these cool sounds. And it's not overly technical, you know. It's just kind of sets a good mood. I dig that record a lot. I like the new St. Vincent record a lot. Her stuff is really cool, and I loved the record she did with David Byrne a couple years ago. It was just blew me away, and kind of a similar vibe on this record she's doing now.
It turns out she's a big metalhead too.
Really?
I just read an interview online about her, and she's talking about a lot of metal bands that she
That's
was really
awesome. Well,
into.
Annie, if you're out there, Between the Bear and Me loves you.
Take them on tour.
Come see us. No, that record's really cool.
So, well, I want to thank you for sitting down with us at the Rave TV, and as always, I look forward to your show tonight. There's gonna be a lot of people here. You put on a great show, so thanks for coming around again, and thanks for joining us.
Cool, thanks.
So we will see you next time on the Rave TV. Once again, Between the Bear and Me tonight. Thank you, Dan. I'm Alex. We'll see you next time.